House Republicans rolled out their fall agenda on Tuesday, with an emphasis on rebuilding the economy, investing in policing and providing resources to combat the virus. The Republicans accused Democrats of squandering their time in the majority as lawmakers begin their fall legislative push before the November election. Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy said, "Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats broke the promise they made 2 years ago. Americans are fed up with politicians who say one thing and do another. Instead of empty rhetoric, they deserve results. This is why we are announcing a commitment to America." Republicans touted the country's efforts in working on a vaccine while keeping a tough response on China's role in the outbreak, offered solutions to spend billions on resources for police while emphasizing community policing, and their plans to aid businesses and restart the economy shuttered by the pandemic. Meanwhile, they slammed Democrats for spending time on impeachment, saying they were too preoccupied with scoring political points, and accused them of supporting efforts to defund police departments, which many Democrats have actively refuted. Republicans only need 17 seats to retake the majority, but according to election analysts, Democrats have an edge in keeping their majority. Still, the GOP is going to be aiming for more success stories like Representative Mike Garcia, who won back a swing district in California during a competitive special election to replace former Representative Katie Hill. Mr. Garcia, a former Navy fighter pilot and first-generation American whose father immigrated from Mexico, said, "I firmly believe that we as a nation are too capable and have too much potential to limit ourselves to simple hopes and dreams. We need to think big." House Democrats said Tuesday they plan to stay in session until a new relief deal is reached with the White House. House Democratic Caucus Chairman Hakeem Jeffries said, "We expect to be here as long as it takes to get something done on behalf of the American people." The caucus remains unified, committed to get something done that's meaningful and to remaining in town as long as it takes for that to happen. Rank-and-file Democrats have called for additional House votes on corona legislation for weeks now, although Mrs. Pelosi has resisted those calls as she doesn't want to take a slimmed-down approach. Democrats, who passed their $3 trillion package back in May, have put the blame on Republicans for the lack of movement on a deal, arguing they've only put forward unserious proposals. Members of the Problem Solvers Caucus, a coalition of Republicans and Democrats, are set to formally unveil their own bipartisan proposal Tuesday morning, aiming to carve out middle ground on unemployment payments and state and local governments. Pelosi was not receptive to that proposal, according to a source on the conference call. Talks between the White House and Democratic leaders on the Hill collapsed in August after they couldn't agree to a middle ground price tag for the package. The parties also remain hundreds of thousands of dollars apart on spending for local and state governments. The Democrats' last request was for $900 billion in additional aid, while the Republicans' bill didn't include any new funds. After a $500 billion GOP package was shot down in the Senate last week, lawmakers were left with little hope there would be a deal before the November election.